I'm Sandy Zoicke, and I am here at the Sacred Moon Sacred Moon Circle with Johnny. He's one of the owners here, and we are here to have some fun with him. He's going to tell us how he got into the crystal business and this beautiful store and how he started with it and how it came about, and he's going to give us some information about it. This is one of the new crystal stores in Hanover, although he has been here for a while, and he's going to tell us how he started.
All right, well, thank you, Sandy. Thank you. First of all, thank you for coming, and thank you for having me on your blog. I really appreciate it. And congratulations on your latest book, by the way. I understand that that's out today. Yeah. So that is exciting. I'm just part of the store, as you know, because you've been here many times. But for those watching, the store is Jen and I. Jen is my wife, and we got into this together. It was originally her dream before it became mine as well. And she was always into metaphysics and alternative healings and those types of things. And she always practiced those things herself at home, like many of us do, like you do as well. Right. And shopped at stores. Right?
Yes.
Like you did. Went to crystal stores. You know where every crystal store is. And so did she. She would go to all these stores and always had that dream. One day it'd be great if I had my own.
Yes.
Right, I could do that. And it was odd. It was a few years ago, as you know now, that we were talking about some opportunities. Jen was in the corporate world like me, and she had stopped when we had some small children recently. And took some time off and then reevaluated like people do, and then didn't really want to go back to the corporate world, right? And we started to talk about some other ideas, and she said, well, I'm going to start up at market a couple days a week, and I'm going to see if I can maybe introduce some people in Hanover to some of these things. And she started with handmade soaps and salves and lotions that were made with essential oils and other things that she could kind of introduce holistic healing. Mm-hmm. And it took off. It did quite well. So she started to introduce more things and more things. And it built up to the point that she said, I think we might have to do more than a day or two a week. And of course, I was like, ooh, that's a big change for at that point in my life. I had been in the corporate world for 30 years at that point. And I said, you know what, let's gamble on ourselves. And, taking a risk on Jen was the most terrifying and yet fun thing that I've ever done. So we put the corporate world behind and we started this. Now, as you mentioned, we've been here a couple years now. Mm-hmm. But we are still building,
right?
So that's fine. We can certainly say we're new. I think we're going to be new for a while
right,
as we continue to evolve and grow and expand to really find what's best for the community that we're serving. But we are Sacred Moon Circle Apothecary here in Hanover, PA, and we're a full-service metaphysical shop, which is, we have a fully stocked retail store, as you know, you visit often, but we also do a lot of services here as well. We do Reiki, we do energy balancing massage. I know that you take advantage of some of these services, which is how we met, actually. And, we're just trying to do all of the things that we can in this small, cool, boutique little space as possible until we can grow a little bit more. Mm-hmm. I know that you wanted to talk a little bit about metaphysics.
Yes.
We were having this conversation the other day.
Yes, we were.
In the waiting room, we kind of got yapping as we tend to do. And we were just talking about metaphysics and metaphysical stores and it popping up more now. You go through a town that you never would have expected to see a store like that, and you see one, you drive and you're like, oh my gosh, look, there's a crystal shop, or there's an herb shop, or there's something about smoking tea or something, and you're excited. And it's true. I think that in the last couple of years during the pandemic, I think people started to look for alternatives. Right. I think that metaphysics aligns with having a sense of grounding, needing to be grounded. Right. We know that metaphysics can help us be grounded, and when things are in turmoil, people end up very ungrounded. Yes. And I think that the pandemic and everything that was going on really caused people to be horribly ungrounded, and they didn't have the traditional things that used to ground them. Organized religion and group events and sports and going to restaurants and social interactions. And so that their typical things for grounding were no longer available, they had to find some sort of alternative.
Right.
And a lot of them went to the internet, and I think metaphysics started to become just, more searched for. How do I ground myself? How do I do these things at home? And then we did see a bit of an explosion in interest about crystal healing, about herbal remedies, and about people focusing on mind, body, spirit. And, it ended up being a good thing for us because we actually started the store right before the pandemic hit. And so it could have been, quite bad. It would have been a bad risk. But, the gamble paid off because we were successful because we were able to help people because there was such a large interest in metaphysics. And, in metaphysics, what is metaphysics? It's a term I think we throw around a lot now, right? And certainly it's one of the forms of philosophy, but we kind of use it more loosely to say those kinds of things that can help us mind, body, spirit.
Right.
The whole bag of goodies that Mother Earth and universe gives us, right? All the herbal goodies, right? The stuff from the earth, the herbs, the crystals, right? All those other things that can help us.
All the things our ancestors had before.
That's right.
Right, before
Our
medicine
ancestors.
came along. Right.
Sure, because we've been using metaphysics for centuries.
Exactly.
Centuries and centuries. Long before it was ever termed pseudoscience.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly. People call us crazy now, but before it was common.
It was common. It was absolutely
Yes.
common to use crystals and herbs and astrology and numbers and shapes and all of those things in your healing. And again, it was a more holistic approach to healing, mind, body, and spirit.
Right.
And those things are, that's how you're grounded, and that's how you're healthy, and that's how you be successful, is when you're vibrating at that higher level, you have all those three things aligned, right? And I think some of the things we look for healing and grounding can be just one of those things, right? Sometimes we can focus just on our spiritual needs, right? But kind of miss the other two, right? Body and mind maybe don't get as much attention. And we focus really on body, and mind and spirit don't get as much, right? So we know that modern medicine has certainly helped us significantly, right? But their focus tends to be focused on that one thing, body, right? And they leave those other things out.
Right.
Whereas we know that we can add those other things and kind of get that more holistic approach.
Exactly.
Right?
And modern medicine does help in some ways, but these other things help naturally. And if you're looking for something naturally, then this is where you need to go.
Yeah, and we talked about this the other day. What did we get on? And this is my fault because I do gab when you come in. And
Yeah, we
Jen
both
does yell
do.
at me because
You put two gabbers together and you're in big trouble.
that's right. And we'll get going. And I think we were talking about dandelion, and we were talking about all of the health benefits of dandelion. And it was so common back in the day. You'd have dandelion salad, right?
Right.
I mean, your grandma or great grandma would go out to the yard and get dandelions. You'd have it in as part of your meal.
Right.
And you got the health benefits of dandelion, right? You had your blood pressure was controlled, right? If you had a little bit of mild ache and pain, it kind of went away. And it was a way for us to get the benefits of that for free.
Right, exactly.
With no crazy side effects.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
But then, organizations came along and said, well, heck, I don't want to pick dandelions. How can we synthesize that?
Right.
And those companies started doing that, right? Now, we certainly don't want to say any company names here on the blog, but we know the companies that started to say, hey, let's synthesize dandelions. Let's synthesize white willow bark into things. And then that they also had to find ways to say, hey, you don't want the dandelion in your yard anymore. You want to come and get the tablet from me.
Right. And they neglect to tell you what they add to those tablets.
Sure, because it's not natural, it's synthesized, right? So we have to do something to it, right? And then they started convincing people that, you had to have a yard better than the neighbors, and maybe you should get rid of your dandelions, right?
Right.
And you don't want to be wasting time shaving white willow off a tree and boiling that for 5 minutes when you can just take a tablet that I can get you. And we did fall away from that. And again, we were using these things for hundreds of years perfectly fine, and now we got away from it. I see a resurgence back to it. You really do. You see more whole food shops. You see more natural food shops. You see more fully organic shops. You see more apothecaries popping up. Where people are more interested in natural remedy, like our great grandmothers did. Right.
Right.
You got cod liver oil. You took it. It didn't taste good. right?
But you took
But you
it.
took it, right? And you got better, right? And then we went away from that, and now we're kind of going back to those things, right? Now,
Yeah.
now we're all taking fish oil again,
I
right?
know. Yeah, exactly. What's old, it becomes new again.
Yeah, there's certainly a cycle, and I think that's, we could talk about metaphysics for hours. We could talk about metaphysics for days, and I'm talking about all the things we have here in the shop, right? And it's a lifelong journey of learning, and I think that as this resurgence grows and things aren't in the shadows anymore and are welcome and accepted, you know, by the community because they realize the benefits to them, right? We'll be able to discuss more and grow more as groups and find ways that we can all get together to have, you know, metaphysical healing. And I think really that's the benefit of the shop,
Right.
right? And the benefits of more shops popping up and why you wrote your book.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
So maybe we can talk about that for a second. You know, you firmly believe in the metaphysical approach to things. You understand that crystals, that all crystals have a unique vibration, right? Their own energy,
Yeah.
their own energy field, and that they can help you heal
Yeah.
mind, body, and spirit.
Yeah, even though I'm called crazy, but yes, I do believe that. My grandson, for one, he thinks I'm way out there, but yes, they do, and they help me. I suffer from migraines and headaches all the time, and my clear quartz definitely helps my headaches. It definitely does. There are some crystals out there that are just better than others, and in my book you will find them. I have 2 books out now, and they both focus on crystals. The second one is just coming out now. Don't buy it yet, though. I will put it out on my website when you can buy it. I've had some formatting issues, so don't buy it yet. But the second one is called Unlocking the Secrets of Chakras Using Crystals. So I get into the chakras and also, you know, the crystals that help with your chakras. And like I say in the book, everybody has bad days, but if you know how to align your chakras and use the crystals to help you, you can help yourself have better days. But all that is everything that people need to know, and you can do that without going to the doctor. Not that I'm saying doctors are bad, because I do specify in the book to see the doctor first if something serious is wrong with you. But, you know, every day, you know, your everyday needs that you have, such as, you know, headaches or just, you know, stress, you know, you can do so much with crystals.
Absolutely.
And your chakras. If everything's aligned in your body, you'd be amazed what can you
Absolutely.
accomplish.
And I mentioned it earlier, and I think that crystal therapies are in addition to, right, other things that we're using, right? So
Exactly.
if we're seeing our doctor and taking certain medicines because that's good for our body, we
Right.
can still use crystals to help with some other little things, right?
Exactly.
Like stress is a tough one, right?
Oh yes, believe me, I
you
know.
Stress comes with life, but there's not too many pills your doctor can give you to just make stress go away.
Exactly.
Right? Sometimes it can be stressful just going to the doctor in the first place or going to the pharmacy to get the tablet.
Right.
So
especially with the price of medicines these days.
absolutely. Right. So you know, including crystal healing, right, and crystal therapies, and you know, in your holistic approach to your own self-care is so important.
Exactly.
And as you know, works, right? So maybe grandson does call you the crazy crystal lady, but you know, without a doubt, that using certain crystals in certain places has an impact on your health. You feel better.
Definitely.
You feel grounded, and you can't argue with that.
No.
Right? You can't unscience that. You can't just wash that away. If you use it and you feel better, then it works.
Exactly. Anybody that walks into my crystal room feels better. All they do is open up the door and walk in there. Even Jen said the same thing. She says that room has a lot of powerful energy. You can walk in my room and feel different.
Right.
You know, my grandson, my other grandson, walks in there and he says, "Wow!" He says, "There's so much energy in this room." You know, it's just a very powerful room, and
it can't be denied. Right?
Exactly.
It's over and over, right? Over and over. If it was one person one time, maybe you could say, okay, that's something. But every single person that walks into your crystal room has the same experience, right?
Exactly.
Because there is a lot of energy there. Crystals vibrate energy. Right?
Exactly.
They all have their unique vibration. They have their own unique frequency, right? And they're giving it off. People come into the shop, they open the door and they say, "Oh, I feel better just being here," right? Because there's that energy that's grounding us, right? Which is what we needed, and we're getting into our space. And
that's right.
this stuff was always there. We kind of just left it by the wayside for a little bit. But I'm so happy that we're coming back to it.
I am too. And there's so much out there yet to explore, and that's what amazes me about crystals, because you can find them everywhere. You can just go and hunt your own crystals. I want to go up to New York and go to the Herkimer mines and stuff, and mine my own, get my own Herkimer.
Yeah, Herkimer's a great place and a great stone.
Yeah.
You know, Herkimer diamonds, which are actually quartz. We don't want
to
fool people thinking you can go diamond mining in New York.
Can't.
But they're a very, very, very powerful vibrational stone.
Right,
so
exactly.
fantastic.
Exactly. And there's so many places that you can go and just explore and find your own. And that's what drew me to crystals in the first place, is because this world is made up of so many different things yet to be explored, and we can find them everywhere. You know, they're all around the place. You know,
and if we can't find them, we can go to the store and get them.
Exactly, and you can come here to.
That's right. It's Sacred Moon Circle Apothecary
Exactly.
here in Hanover, PA. Well, thank you so much, Sandy, for visiting with us today, and I look forward to us talking again.
Absolutely.
Good luck with your blog, and good luck with your books.
Thank you, and thank you so much for being on my little show today.
You are most welcome.
Thank you.